Hello, everyone. Juxtaposition here. Today I'm going to do a series of Triple M videos. We now know that my Triple M series has to do with murder, mayhem, and mendacity. I'm considering doing a Triple C video series also. C for cackling cacophony of chaos, in tribute to our Vice President, Kamala Harris, graduate of the Hastings Law School, across the quad from San Francisco City Hall, where George Moscone and Harvey Milk had their heads blown off. And it's also across the street from the Bill Graham Civic Auditorium. Bill Graham, not his real name. He's a Russian Jewish fellow from Germany via New York. And he performed CIA operations in the city of San Francisco at the Fillmore West, which is in close proximity to Pacific Heights, where the infamous styrofoam fake camera attack happened with Paul Pelosi. It's also in close proximity to Presidio Heights, where both Nancy and Paul Pelosi resided for many years, as well as Dianne Feinstein. That's right, Dianne Feinstein, an 89-year-old senator from San Francisco, who was a Jewish girl by the name of Goldman, who attended the very strict military academy known as the Society of Sacred Heart Convent, located at 2222 Broadway, Pacific Heights, San Francisco, California, CIA, California. And believe me, the clandestine services were here well before Leland Stanford, Junior University was established. Okay? When the Ohlone Indians were here, the Spanish infiltration, not invasion, guerrillas by night, not armies by day, through intimidation, not free choice. That's what a mandate is. You cannot mandate consent, people. It's impossible. What you can do is bully, threaten, extort, and or create terrorist events to get people to break down their resistance. That's what a mandate is. That's what an ultimatum is. That's why if someone gives you an ultimatum, you know that they're not on your side. Okay, that is not what civilized people do. That is what uncivilized people do. They issue ultimatums and mandates. They come up with fancy phrases like, we all need to get the vax. Or they say, Agenda 21, we all got to get behind this now, right? No, we don't all have to get behind depopulation and world control and domination. We don't have to. We don't have to volunteer for cancer, and we don't need to volunteer for techno enslavement. Techno enslavement, centralized bank digital currency, aka obedience, participation, social scores. You will own nothing and be happy. I mean, talk about an absurd, insane, ridiculous slogan that is. You will own nothing and be happy. Okay, have some more vodka. Okay? And for all you Richard Gage believers out there, I suggest you take a little LSD with your vodka. Okay? He's playing you like a violin. Anyway, people just love their Trojan horses, like Ron DeSantis, like Noam Chomsky, like Oliver Silverstein Stone, like Dianne Feinstein, not her real name, Goldman, Bloom, don't know what her real name really is. Like Mark Lane, his real name is Levin, right? People just love their phony, fake, media presented frauds. So I was going to talk about Dianne Feinstein kicking off this first module in my series of Triple M's, but I got sidetracked because I saw some fake news from a few minutes ago, and I wanted to read it for you. Okay, so Fortune magazine, which is known as a pump and dump magazine, right, to get people with savings to spend money on things they probably shouldn't. Anyway, they conducted an interview with the new Citigroup chief executive officer, Jane Fraser. I don't know if you know who she is. She's a British intelligence agent out of Cambridge, England. Cambridge University is located 61 miles due north of the city of London, which is where the home of centralized banking is. And we know that. We know that's true because that's where Roberto Calfi, a northern Italian private banker for Propaganda Due Freemasonry and the Roman Catholic Church. Oh, let me just correct that. Holy Roman Catholic Church, the Vatican See, the Holy See. He was murdered at the end of an orange rope with a love knot hung by his neck underneath the Blackfriars Bridge facing the financial center of London, which is not too far away from where Judy Garland was done away with. And she, of course, celebrated a banking documentary in The Wizard of Oz. Follow the yellow brick road, right? Later celebrated by Elton John, who got out of Dodge just in time before the Jose Menendez shotgun blast happened. Because didn't Elton John sing a song about Goodbye Yellow Brick Road? Yeah, he did. And he lived at 722 North Elm Drive in Beverly Hills, 90210, where the next tenant was Jose and Kitty Menendez, who got shotgun blasted 13 times to their death in a professional assassination by the clandestine services. Oh yeah, because they lived in Calabasas. They lived near West Hills. They lived up by Canoga Park and Woodland Hills. They didn't live in Beverly Hills. And Lyle Menendez, their oldest son, who's 21 years old in 1989, he didn't live in Beverly Hills. He's attending Princeton University. Princeton University, you know, where George Shultz went to school, where Allen Dulles went to school, where John Foster Dulles, Secretary of State before George Shultz went to school, where Sean Stone went to school, where William Egan Colby graduated from Princeton with honors, where Brooke Shields went to university at Princeton. That's where Eric Menendez's older brother, Lyle, attended. Jose Menendez's eldest son was attending Princeton University when he was murdered. All right, when Jose was murdered. Jose Menendez in the porn industry, live entertainment, porn, CIA operations, porn. All right, so I'm going to read you what Jane Fraser was quoted as saying today. It's the headline of this ridiculous Fortune article regarding, the CIA operation known as FTX. This is a reference to FTX without using the acronym FTX, which we all know is a CIA-created cryptocurrency, 36 months, birth to death, psyops to get young people disillusioned with the world of cryptocurrency. It's not so much crypto, it's alternative currency. And you can always do barter and exchange of your labor. And perhaps that's really what we're going to have is two systems. We're going to have techno enslavement by the banks, which will have a digital passport on your cell phone and or injected into your body in the form of nanotechnology. We're going to have that techno enslavement system. Or alternatively, we're going to have people that are going to go their own way and show bravery and courage. And they are going to be on the other side of the fence line, and they're going to be, dumpster diving, and they're going to be doing deals with private farmers. If there are any private farmers left, they're going to do under the table, under the 5G mesh towers. They're going to be conducting counterintelligence operations where mesh systems go dark, where aluminum chemtrails in the sky can't find airplanes that will be refueled, because something goes wrong with the refueling system at the Air Force bases and or the private clandestine services bases, where chemtrail aluminum oxide weaponized Operation Sea Spray or DARPA weather management are being conducted. There could be a problem with the perimeter fence. So Jane Fraser was quoted as saying, if grandma's investing in crypto, we better have protections in place. If grandma's investing in crypto, we better have protections in place. Well, I don't know about you, but I didn't hear any stories about grandmothers investing in cryptocurrency. That's kind of a CIA smug laughing in your stupid face. Let me tell you who this Jane Fraser is. She's the fake leader of Citigroup, which is over by the Holland Tunnel in Manhattan, New York, right? That's where the world headquarters is, at 388 Greenwich Street, New York City. It's near Tribeca, Little Italy, right? It's over that way. Citigroup, that's a CIA-controlled bank, right? So, of course, you got to have a clandestine services fake leader, right? Because I can assure you that Jane Fraser is not leading Citigroup. Believe me. And Jamie Dimon is not leading Chase Manhattan Bank either. Anyway, you should know that British-born Jane Fraser was born. I just crack up. It's like they just don't even try to hide. July 13th, 1967. So she's 55 years old. Jane Fraser, the know-it-all from Harvard University, where she got her MBA. She joins a long list of fraudulent people, like Jeffrey Skilling got an MBA from Harvard, right? I know a lot of people that got MBA from Harvard that are involved with felonious activities in finance and banking. Absolutely, I do. And anyway, so instead of going to the hedge fund industry, she went into the banking industry. She went to Girton College in Cambridge, England. Again, that's 61 miles north of where Roberto Calfi was murdered, in the center of the financial district of London. And this is where she went to school. She was born in St. Andrews, Scotland. Okay, so she's really Scottish, I guess. Anyway, don't have much information about her parents, right? Don't you want to know about her parents? They scrub that. And I noticed Wikipedia scrubs lots of information about, like, Doug Leone, for example, that we know came from Mount Vernon, the Bronx, New York, who was the managing partner over at Sequoia Capital, the company that brought you FTX. And they've also brought us, Cisco Systems. They brought us Apple Computer. They brought us LSI Logic. They brought us Google, YouTube, Zoom, a long list of other things that came out of nothing that grew into hundreds of billions of dollars. Anyway, Doug Leone, they want you to believe he was born in Genoa, Italy, which perhaps he did, and he came to New York when he was 6 years old. And we don't really know much about his parents. And you know that Genoa, Italy is a clandestine service hub, like Long Beach, California is, like all port facilities are. This is where Columbus allegedly came out of, Genoa, Italy. But he had to go to Spain to get his financing, right? Anyway, Genoa, Italy is a clandestine services facility. And of course, you won't be surprised to know that $6.1 billion Doug Leone, age 65, who went to Columbia University and MIT, like Sam Bankman-Fried went to MIT in physics and mathematics. And Doug Leone, age 65, he went to MIT Sloan Business School to get his MBA. But before that, he was at Columbia University, which, by the way, Sam Bankman-Fried's his aunt is a dean at Columbia University of Public Health. How perfect. How perfect. Anyway, Jane Fraser worked at McKinsey Company consulting firm, working in the financial services and global strategy division before she rose to partner at McKinsey Company. That's a clandestine service, fake consulting firm, McKinsey. All right, so that makes sense. She went to Cambridge, Girton College, which is part of Cambridge University. She went to Harvard to get her MBA. Not too different than Abigail Folger went to Harvard to get her master's degree in art history, and then became a private banker in Manhattan at the Gotham bookstore, linked up with Polish Jews, Jerzy Kaczynski, Roman Polanski, and Wojtek Frykowski, then reassigned. Well, she was working on the Robert Kennedy presidential campaign in Manhattan, New York. Then after Robert Kennedy had his head blown off by Thane Eugene Caesar at the Ambassador Hotel on June 5th, 1968, Abigail Folger was quickly repositioned to Laurel Canyon to Woodstock Road near the Natalie Wood compound in Laurel Canyon, Los Angeles, near Frank Zappa's home and near the Harry Houdini mansion, in close proximity to the Harry Houdini mansion. There's Abigail Folger with her control agent, Wojtek Frykowski. And by the way, that home that she lived in was controlled by the Rand Corporation. They had their employees stay in that home. Before Abigail Folger moved in, there was a scientist involved with the internet technology switching systems that lived in that home. So he was a mechanical engineering, electrical engineering background. And he moved out and Abigail Folger moved in before she was bayoneted 28 times, by the NATO issue M7 bayonet. Well, so that's before. That's a little bit before Jane Fraser was in the picture, right? She was born in 1967, so she was a little baby in diapers when Abigail Folger, a private banker before she was, got murdered. So I'm just letting you know, Jane, it doesn't always end well for bankers. Roberta Calfee, Michele Sindona, Abigail Folger, didn't end well for those three elite bankers, and quite frankly, they were above you in status. They were all above you in status, Jane Fraser. So don't be saying stupid things that when grandma is investing in crypto, we need stronger controls. I think we need a lot stronger controls over bankers like you, and we need controls over the general banking, which has no adult supervision whatsoever. So when you say stupid things like that, your own bank isn't being audited. Your own bank isn't subject to audit. Why should cryptocurrency be subject to audit? They're both CIA infiltrated. Cryptocurrency is CIA infiltrated, and so is Citigroup, and so is Chase, and so is Bank of America. You should also know that Jane Fraser is married and the mother of two sons. Her husband is a native of Cuba. Yeah, like Fidel Castro was, like Jose Menendez was, like Jose Perdomo, who murdered John Lennon at the Dakota in New York, in Manhattan, New York. Yeah, they were all from Cuba also. Frank Sturgis, he was from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But they want you to know that Jane Fraser's father came from Cuba, which, as you know, is a Navy intelligence, CIA totalitarian regime. We're under maritime law. Cuba is a CIA base. The entire island, not just Guantanamo Bay, and I mean through Havana. Remember the Maine, and this has been true since 1898, that Cuba has been a colony for CIA since 1898, and probably before that. But anyway, that's where Jane Fraser's husband came from. I guess she couldn't find a husband in Cambridge, England, so she found one from Cuba. Anyway, that's just got me off track. So that's going to be my first segment today. Then I'm going to go to Dianne Feinstein next. Okay, please hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next side. Take care. Bye-bye.